We have here in front of us a Minniehaha cake.
Now, can you say that again, please?
Minniehaha cake.
Now, where did that originate?
Well, my understanding is it originated here in Delaware, but that may not be accurate.
Do you think that many people from Delaware know what a Minniehaha cake is?
The old-time Delawareans know what a Minniehaha cake is. It's very well known, famous.
Now, when you say the old-time Delawareans, exactly what does that mean?
Natives.
Okay, so if I were to ask any native Delawarean what a Minniehaha cake is, are you sure that they would know?
No, not every native, but the ones of quality, high-quality ones would know.
The ones over 75 years old.
No, they could even be younger than that.
70 maybe.
Okay, so let's take a look at this cake, shall we?
Yes.
All right, tell us about this cake.
Well, it has a white batter. It's kind of similar to a Lady Baltimore cake, if you know what that is.
What if I don't know what that is?
Well, I'll tell you. It's a white batter. It takes the whites of 6 eggs. It's flour, sugar, baking powder, butter, or your shortening, whatever you want, butter or Crisco, and the whites of 6 eggs. And you beat up the whites of the 6 eggs at the end and fold it in. And then you bake it.
So that's what this is, then?
That's what the cake is. I mean, the batter. But then you have the icing. You have 7-minute white icing, which your mother has made. And we usually put a cup of raisins and a cup of walnuts in the icing, and then spread it on the cake.
So these are walnuts and raisins.
Well, actually, I think we were out of walnuts, so Mother used pecans.
Oh my God!
I know, isn't that terrible? But anyway, it would work the same. And some people will take maraschino cherries and put around the top.
Why didn't you do that?
Well, I don't know. We just never have done that.
Because you hate maraschino
I don't care for maraschino cherries. But now Jan Calhoun, my cousin down in Rehoboth, always makes this at Christmas time, and she always puts maraschino cherries on hers.
I see.
That's a family tradition.
I see. Now, would you like to cut this cake so people can see what it looks like inside?
Yes, I'll see what I can
Now,
do.
I understand that every birthday you have one of these.
Generally, probably not every one of my birthdays, but mostly, because I think it's my favorite cake. Wow. Ooh. Mother baked this yesterday, and she iced it today. And she says it works better that way. And I make them once in a while. I made one years ago for Alice Hunn Brown.
Turn it around so she
Oh,
can see.
okay, yeah, there. Can you see the interior?
Yes.
For you.
Now let's. How long have you been having these Minniehaha cakes every birthday? As long
about as long as I can remember.
Even when you were a child?
Well, what I first remember about cakes is that I guess, being born during the Second World War, sugar was rationed. So we didn't have cake very often, and whenever we did have cake, I always thought it had to have candles on it. So that was like, after the war, when cakes were more plentiful, why I always wanted candles on it. And I remember somebody came and they said, well, why do you have candles on there? There's nobody's birthday. I said, oh, Michael always likes candles on there because that's what he was used to or something.
So, in other words, you always got what you wanted when you were a child. Is that right?
Oh, I don't know about that.
So, whenever you had cake, you had to have candles on your cake.
Well.
So you were how old?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I guess I always had candles on the cake on a birthday.
So, do you happen to remember a memorable birthday that you had when you were growing up?
I remember my 8th birthday. All right. I remember my 8th birthday. Aunt Betty and the General from Wilmington that were good friends came down.
Who is the General?
Well, his name was Jacob, but that's a long story. He was just.
All right, so the general and your
And Aunt Betty.
came down.
Yeah, for the weekend, and it was my birthday. And I remember going with my mother.
Look over here into the.
I went with Mama and Aunt Betty to this secondhand store in Camden that a lady named Mrs. Moore ran, because your grandmother was always looking for blue willow dishes. So we went there, and of course I couldn't contain myself. I said, "I'm 8 years old today," and Mrs. Moore said, "Oh, I don't have a thing in here for a child." And she looked around, and then she gave me this little glass, which I still have, and I think it's in here someplace.
Ow.
Oh, excuse me. This is a little glass she gave me on my 8th birthday. And the little store or shop she had there on the corner of South Main Street and South Street is gone. It's been gone for a long time, kind of across from where Carl King is now. So, and then let me see, maybe on my 10th or 11th birthday, we went to Tolchester.
Were you telling everybody then it was your birthday too?
Oh, probably. And that's when my grandfather rode with me on the roller coaster that was called the Whirlpool Dip.
They had roller coasters back then?
Oh, they've had them way before my time.
Wow, I had no idea.
And as we were getting up to the top, I got scared and I said I wanted to get off. But of course, you couldn't get off then.
Did you jump?
No.
All right. Well, what a lovely birthday cake this is.
Yes.
And I hope it tastes as delicious as it looks.
Well, it should. It should.
Yes.
A lot of people have them at Christmas time. And
Except unless their name is Michael Richards.
no, well, I mean,
Yes, too.
Oh, you'll just eat it at any time,
now,
anywhere.
I'll tell you one more thing. When I made one for Alice Hunt Brown years ago, I was probably about 20, and I took
You
it.
made it all by yourself?
Yes, I've been making cakes a long time. I took this to her, and she had asked, she wanted one, and so I baked it and iced it, but I ran out of icing, so I only had about 2/3 of it iced.
Oh my
So
God, what happened to
So
you?
I just took it to her that way, and she said, "Oh, I think that's cute," and I got $2 for it.
Wow.
That was
That was big pimpin' back then.
That was John Hunt Brown's mother.
I see.
If you don't
All
like
right.
the icing, you cut
Okay.